Hello friends, we are Crypto Potato, I am Dimitar, and it's time to put on our green shirts again as Bitcoin and the entire crypto market recorded a significant surge over the past 24 hours. In today's video, we'll highlight the latest bull run and analyze the chances of continuing to enjoy green candles, unless of course you haven't opened short positions. Other interesting topics we'll touch on include the company strategy, the US Securities and Exchange Commission or SEC, South Korea and Paraguay. We're truly grateful for your strong support of our channel, and if you'd like to give us an extra push to grow, please hit the like button or subscribe with the bell icon. Now let's get started. Bitcoin's price skyrocketed to over $110,000 a few hours ago, while its market capitalization reached nearly $2 trillion and $200 billion. Although this is slightly below the all-time high, it's still an impressive achievement considering the cryptocurrency fell to almost $100,000 last week. At the moment of this recording, Bitcoin is trading around $109,500, but volatility remains high. Let's move on to the leading altcoins, which posted even stronger gains. Ethereum rose by nearly 8% to almost $2,700, while Solana, Cardano, Dogecoin and several others jumped by around 6 to 7%. HYPERLIQUID is also among the top performing cryptocurrencies, reaching nearly $40, just shy of its all-time high. By the way, interest in HYPE seems to be rising sharply, as some whales recently purchased a significant amount of tokens, so we'll monitor whether further gains are on the horizon. Among the few altcoins in the red zone are Leo and XDC. The total market capitalization of the sector soared to nearly $3,550 billion. One of the likely reasons behind the crypto market's rally is the ongoing talks between the US and China, who are working to ease or remove certain tariffs and de-escalate trade tensions. Delegations from both sides launched discussions yesterday in London, and they are expected to continue today. According to a recent CNN report, US President Donald Trump approved the partial easing of export restrictions on certain goods to China in exchange for access to large quantities of rare earth elements, critical for electronics, vehicles, and the defense industry. However, the US has refused to lift restrictions on the most advanced AI chips. "I'm only getting good reports," Trump said on Monday. "China isn't easy, but we want to open up to them." Meanwhile, the Asian nation remains cautious, issuing limited export licenses. And although Beijing is signaling some willingness to compromise, access to rare materials is likely to remain more restricted than in previous years. We'll continue to follow this closely, as a potential handshake deal could positively impact both financial and crypto markets. Another factor that may have strengthened the markets is the easing or at least non-escalation of tensions between Donald Trump and Elon Musk, who, as we discussed in recent days, had a fierce dispute. New on-chain data also shows signs of a potential upward breakout for Bitcoin. According to CryptoQuant, a key indicator comes from the taker-buy-sell ratio on Binance, which has reached 1.1, a level typically associated with increasing demand and a bull market. Meanwhile, the 90-day buy-sell pressure delta is steadily rising toward historical highs, suggesting sustained accumulation without signs of overheating. Bitcoin's price has also broken through the 1-day to 1-week UTXO range, a signal that recently purchased coins are now in profit and being held rather than sold. This often indicates a shift into a re-accumulation phase. The data reflects strengthening fundamentals and growing investor confidence, which could point to Bitcoin's next bullish leg. Let's move on to the company strategy, which unsurprisingly bought more Bitcoin. Yesterday, the firm founded by Michael Saylor announced the purchase of 1,045 bitcoins at an average price of $105,046 each, or over $110 million in total. Since the beginning of the year, the company has recorded a 17.1% return on its Bitcoin position and now holds 582,000 bitcoins, acquired at an average price of $70,086, currently valued at nearly $41 billion. This latest purchase reinforces Saylor's long-standing belief that Bitcoin is the best alternative for corporate treasuries. He remains convinced that when Wall Street allocates even 10% of its reserves to Bitcoin, the price will reach $1 million. Strategy's approach is becoming a model for institutional Bitcoin adoption. Now, let's turn our focus to an interesting development related to the US Securities and Exchange Commission, or SEC. On June 9th, the agency's chair, Paul Atkins, made a dramatic shift in SEC policy regarding decentralized finance, stating that DeFi embodies American values such as economic freedom, private property, and innovation. During the SEC's roundtable on the topic, he sharply criticized the application of outdated regulations to blockchain systems, pointing out that current laws are not suitable for self-executing software protocols. Atkins declared that participating in proof-of-work or proof-of-stake networks, whether by mining or staking, does not fall under securities laws. He also emphasized that publishing wallet or staking code is not a brokerage activity. He proposed the creation of an innovation exception to accelerate the entry of compliant blockchain products into the US market, aligned with President Trump's vision to make America the crypto capital of the world. We now shift focus to one of Asia's strongest economies, South Korea, where newly elected President Lee Jae-myung has pledged strong support for the crypto sector despite entering office under the shadow of multiple scandals and legal proceedings. A former human rights lawyer, Lee rose as a populist with a vision of integrating digital assets into the country's financial system. Although crypto wasn't explicitly mentioned in his recent speech, his administration plans to push the Digital Asset Basic Act, legalize spot crypto ETFs, and allow pension fund investments in crypto. Lee also backs the creation of a stable, centralized, one-backed stablecoin, contrasting Terra's failed algorithmic model. He advocates more flexible regulations for exchanges and self-custody. At the same time, Lee calls for balanced diplomacy with the US, Japan, China, and even North Korea. Despite progress, the president faces 5 ongoing court cases, including charges of corruption, election fraud, and illegal transfers to North Korea. His main trial begins on June 18, but it remains unclear whether presidential immunity applies to cases already in progress. Regardless, his presidency may speed up crypto's institutional adoption in one of the world's most active markets. And finally, we shift our focus to South America. On June 9th, the official X account of Paraguay's president, Santiago Peña, was hacked by crypto scammers who posted a fake announcement that the country was adopting Bitcoin as legal tender. The post also contained suspicious calls for users to secure your stake via wallet addresses. Classic scam behavior. The official presidential account later confirmed the security breach and clearly stated that no formal decision or announcement had been made regarding Bitcoin. The incident caused a wave of confusion online, especially given El Salvador's 2021 precedent as the first country to adopt Bitcoin as legal tender. That's all from us for today, friends. Have a successful Tuesday and see you tomorrow.